I'm getting a lot better with this thing. Welcome back to the Skill Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 133 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where you take you through the projects that I'm working on. And of course, if you enjoy this show and you like seeing stuff, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell. Maybe stay indoors. Don't go outside. Enjoy all this great weather. Just stay inside and watch YouTube videos. All right, first thing on the bench, of course, it's the Bobcat from AN3DRC, available on Umagine, SBG20 to save yourself 20% at checkout on anything they have there. This is such a great thing. I am loving it so much. In fact, I'm loving it so much that I decided to start printing an accessory for the Bobcat. Now, this is one of the sort of modified or, add-on files that's available. This is from Defender Customs, and here's the start of it right here. Big old piece of plastic. This is not just a piece of plastic. This is going to be a mower. Yes, I'm creating a brush mower for the front of my skid steer. It's going to be so rad. I'm really super excited about this. Defender Customs, if you are not familiar with this guy, he makes some amazing things. Not just this, but he's the guy that created the conversion kit to do away with the belt drive system. I still really like the belt drive system. It's way faster, but it is a really cool torquey mod that you can do if that's what you're into. He also is responsible for making some very cool portable charging solutions. And I'll just put his Instagram here so you can check him out on your own. It's very cool stuff. I have a feeling some of these things are going to be made into files that can be printed at home. So really kind of hoping that happens because they are very cool. Anyway, skid steer, all done, ready to go. I want to get that brush mower all set up and ready to go as well for my trip down to Smiggins Folly, where Richard and I will be competing with our skid steers in a series of challenges. I'm also considering making an attachment for the actual scoop. I'd like to do some metal tines. I think I could machine a whole piece on the Carvera and attach it to this and then give it a bit more grippy, diggy action, which I think would be very fun. But yes, this thing, so amazing. Could not be happier with how this turned out. It's very fun to drive once you get the hang of it. And I'm getting the hang of it. Love this thing. All right, on to the next thing. Almost forgot, I will link to the mower brush trimming attachment doodad as well. That's on Cults 3D, and of course this one's on Umagine.com. So there you go. Okay, now on to the next thing. Next on the bench, my well-used Rockabilly. It's missing more hood elements now because I took it out and drove it with my friend Kenny this weekend. Had an amazing time. This thing just works, and it works very, very well. I have talked about a few improvements that I would like to make in the debrief from last week. I haven't done them yet, but I will. Overdrive up front. What was the other thing? More weight up front. Waiting on Vanquish to actually have those brass parts for the front knuckles so we can actually do that upgrade. I didn't like how the Ackerman was adjusted on the deluxe weighted knuckles, so I'm going to wait on those. Wait. I'm sorry. That does lead me to my next segue, though, which is if you are into puns and terrible dad jokes, you should really join the YouTube membership, where I share all kinds of tips and tricks, behind the scenes, how-tos, travel logs, and the odd dad joke. There's a good one in the last one. Oh my God, so good. Anyway, thank you, of course, to all of these ding-dongs for making that whole thing possible. It's great to have an extra tight community in that area. So consider joining. Link down below. But what I did want to show you on the Rockabilly is that I did get that engraved roof all done. And there it is. Please look good on the camera, because I am so happy with how it turned out. It's really amazing. That is a Wolf. The idea was this was like a Werewolf Silver Bullet style truck, and had I had the time and the know-how, this would have been done prior to me leaving for the event, and might have actually helped me stand out a little bit from the crowd, but I could not be happier with how that turned out. It looks so cool, in my opinion. Just a really nice engraving, and once I had all the toolpaths figured out, this wasn't all that difficult to do on the Carvera. Much thanks, of course, to Josh for helping me with some of the more intricate detailings of how to get this three-dimensional relief on the actual roof to make it all work. But it was, I'm just like so thrilled with how it turned out. I think it looks really, really rad. Would I do it differently the next time? Yes, probably. I think I overdid the roughing pass, which removed too much material and didn't give the engraving tool enough material to work with, but it still created a pretty nice relief. I've given it a bit of a sand. I think I'm going to sand it a little bit further just to get a bit more depth and polish out of it. So yeah, next step is to do side panels, which I think are totally doable. I've already got some artwork ready to go for that. So in the coming weeks, as time allows, this truck will probably get a full teardown. Definitely going to get the cage blasted and maybe even powder coated, because that chrome paint did not hold up very well. As you can see, lots of scratches and scrapes, but a very fun truck. And Josh is actually working on getting the entire build series videos done. So if you've been sort of waiting on that, maybe you want to see how complicated this build is, you should go watch those videos. I'll put a link down below. And if you're interested, I'll also put the link to where you can buy the files to actually start making your own Rockabilly at home. Then maybe you can do some engraved panels if you have a home CNC machine. Anyway, something to check out. I'm very pleased with that, though. I think that looks so cool. Could not be happier with that. All right, on to the next thing. This desk mat is getting filthy. I mean, that is a good sign, though. It means I actually use it. Here's the Jimmy's buggy, the other thing from the event, and one of the other things from the debrief that I wanted to hit was getting both front and rear Hydro Ram steering setups done. These are from Crawler Addiction. I will put a link down below to his website where you can pick these up either as a kit or complete, ready to go. It uses some of the Vanquish parts from the H10 optic, and then a few parts that you may need to source yourself. Nothing difficult though. M4 grub screw and some rod ends is basically all you'll need. And it looks fantastic. I think it looks really good now that they're both done, front and rear. It's just such a nice setup, really clean. The other thing I've done is I've switched to Treps, which I think 99% of you recommended, and I'm glad that I had a set. These aren't cut and shut, they're just regular 1.9s. I know they are like a taller tire, so I don't know how that affects entry into any of the Sorka or We Rock events. I'm sure this actually doesn't even qualify for Sorka. Maybe in Class 3. I haven't looked at those rules in quite some time. I heard rumors, though, that they're adding more classes. Hopefully more scale stuff. Anyway, for We RC Rock, I think these count, but refresh my memory. Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of those comments as I can. I love this Jimmy's buggy. One of the other things I did want to look at doing was maybe replacing these 900 low profiles with some 800 low profiles. But that requires money. So I may have to spend some money. Otherwise, though, I love this truck. I think it's really fun to drive, and hopefully with these Treps, it's going to do even better. We can only hope. All right, on to the next thing. Finally on the bench tonight, here is my Jeep CJ Renegade. This used to be an axial-based truck. It's somewhat still sort of an axial-based truck, and it's actually been sitting on the shelf waiting for me to get to it because there's been a number of things going on. I don't know if you've noticed, but I built some other trucks. You might remember this truck from being quite heavily modified. It's now featuring the Leaf Merchant Fabco leaf conversion kit for the Axial CJ7. And as well, it's got some twisted Fabco leaf springs underneath it. And I finally did the Josh conversion to put a VFD transmission in there. I paired that with a Hobbywing Fusion SE, which is the more cheaper, budget-friendly version of the 2-in-1 style motor ESC combo, running a Reefs RA 500 pink servo and some SCX10 Pro straight axles. I should also mention that I've changed the tires. This is another set of cut and shuts from West Desert Wheeler featuring a 3D printed insert. These look rad. I love pit butts. It's a cool looking tire. There's kind of the sag on the tire is quite nice. And I just love that it's leaf sprung. I know not everybody does, but I don't mind ruining performance for a bit of style. And this definitely has style now. I should put a winch up front, but while I'm waiting for all of those things, I don't really love the color of this body. I'm not much of a red truck guy, although I did just paint one red. Don't worry about that though. So what I'm thinking is I might trade this. I've got Josh Toth all lined up to trade me a clear one for a red one. So we might do that. Now I just need to know what color you think I should paint it. Comments down below. Anyways, very excited about not just this truck, but how much suspension travel there still is. And it feels like it's going to be a pretty steady truck. There's definitely more weight down lower than there was before. And I think it just looks great. I think it's got a great footprint now. Just looks a bit meaner, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm digging it. Very happy with everything on this so far. Can't wait to get it out for a shakedown run, but I'll do that after I get the new body. So, next year. All right, I think that's going to do it, though. Thank you so much for watching. Quick episode this week because got about 20 minutes before our live stream starts. So, if you're watching this before that, it'll be next week's show. All right, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next week.